Imagine you are standing in a pitch-black room. You cannot see the walls. You cannot see the floor. You hold your hand out in front of your face, but you cannot even see your own fingers. In the darkness, you hear a sound. Breathing. Heavy, slow breathing right in front of you. You don't know if it is a monster, a wild animal, or another human. You don't know if it wants to hurt you or help you. You freeze. Your heart hammers against your ribs. Your brain starts screaming, filling the void with your worst nightmares. Now, imagine the lights turn on. The monster is just a small, frightened dog. Instantly, your fear vanishes. You relax. You feel superior. You are in control again. Why? Because you can see it. You understand it. This is the most fundamental law of power. We fear what we cannot read. And we destroy what we can fully understand. In the game of social dynamics, most people are like that small dog under the spotlight. They are desperate to be understood. They broadcast their emotions, their insecurities, and their next move like a radio tower. They think that by explaining themselves, they will gain respect. They think that by showing their anger, they look dangerous. They are wrong. When you are easy to read, you are easy to manipulate. You become a predictable variable in someone else's equation. But there is a different kind of player. The one who remains in the dark. The one who has mastered the art of being unreadable. This video is not about being quiet. It is about becoming a psychological void, a black box that traps the attention and anxiety of everyone around you. By the end of this audio, you will learn how to weaponize ambiguity, how to destroy your opponent's confidence without saying a word, and how to harness the terrifying power of the unknown. First, you must understand the mechanism of projection. The human brain creates reality based on patterns. When we look at a cloud, we see a face. When we look at a shadow, we see a threat. We project our internal state onto external objects. This is the Rorschach test principle. Where a person shows you an ink blot, the ink blot has no meaning. It is just chaos. But if you see a butterfly, or a demon, or a mask, that tells the psychologist everything about you, not the ink blot. To become unreadable, you must become the ink blot. You must become a blank screen onto which others project their desires and fears. When you are stoic, when your face betrays no emotion, people do not see nothing. They see what they expect to see. A narcissist will see you as a challenge. An insecure person will see you as a judge. A lover will see you as a mystery. You haven't done anything. You have simply refused to provide them with the data they crave. By giving them nothing, you force them to reveal everything. They will start talking to fill the silence. They will start acting out to get a reaction. And in doing so, they hand you the keys to their mind. But how do you achieve this state? It starts with the micro-expression kill. Most people think they have a poker face, but they are leaking information constantly. A slight twitch of the eyebrow when you are surprised. A tightening of the jaw when you are angry. A quick glance at the floor when you are lying. These are micro-expressions, and predatory people read them instinctively. To master the unreadable state, you must disconnect your internal reaction from your external display. This requires a level of dissociation. Imagine you are operating a robot from a control room inside your head. The robot, your body, is sitting at the table. Someone insults the robot. Inside the control room, you might feel anger. But you do not press the frown button. You do not press the shout button. You simply observe. You look at the person who insulted you with dead, flat eyes. This disconnect creates a phenomenon called cognitive dissonance in your attacker. They expected a reaction. They pushed the button, but the machine didn't move. This breaks their reality loop. They start to panic. Did he not hear me? Is he not afraid? Does he know something I don't? This leads us to the second pillar, the law of least effort. In physics, the larger object has the most gravity. In psychology, the person who reacts the least holds the most power. The one who is screaming, crying, or explaining themselves is burning energy. They are orbiting the person who is standing still. Think of the quintessential Godfather figure. He speaks in a whisper. He moves slowly. He never explains his orders. His scarcity of movement implies a massive reserve of power. When you are in a negotiation, or an argument, or even a date, practice the 3-second pause. When someone finishes speaking, do not answer immediately. Look at them. Count to 3 in your head. 1, 2, 3. Then answer. In that 3-second void, the other person's brain goes into overdrive. They wonder if they said something stupid. They wonder if you are judging them. Often, they will break the silence themselves, adding more information, weakening their position, or apologizing. You have dominated the interaction simply by waiting. However, being unreadable is not just about silence. It is about strategic ambiguity. If you are completely silent, you are just weird. If you are mysterious, you are intriguing. Strategic ambiguity means giving answers that can be interpreted in multiple ways. It means keeping your true intentions hidden behind a fog of politeness or vague agreement. General Sun Tzu said, "Let your plans be dark and impenetrable as night, and when you move, fall like a thunderbolt." If you tell people your goals, they can sabotage them. If you tell people your weaknesses, they can exploit them. If you tell people your fears, they can use them against you. The unreadable man creates a separation between his public persona and his private self. You can be charming. You can tell jokes. You can smile. But these are calculated displays, not uncontrolled outbursts. You show people exactly what you want them to see, and nothing more. The core of who you are, your strategy, your pain, your true opinion, remains locked in the black box. This brings us to the gray rock defense, elevated to an offensive weapon. You have likely heard of the gray rock method for dealing with narcissists, becoming boring so they lose interest. But we are talking about dark psychology here. We use the obsidian rock method. You don't just become boring, you become reflective. When someone tries to manipulate you or provoke you, you mirror them. If they are aggressive, you do not become aggressive, nor do you become submissive. You become a mirror. You reflect their behavior back to them without absorbing it. You ask questions instead of giving statements. Why would you say that? What is your intention with that question? That is an interesting perspective. You are a smooth, dark surface. Their emotional attacks slide off you. And because they cannot penetrate your armor, they exhaust themselves attacking their own reflection. Now, a warning. This path is lonely. When you become unreadable, you step out of the herd. Humans bond through shared vulnerability. We trust people who bleed when we cut them. When you stop bleeding, when you stop reacting, people will sense that something has changed. They will respect you, they will fear you, and they will be fascinated by you, but they will also sense a distance. This is the price of sovereignty. You must decide if you want to be liked or if you want to be respected. Being liked is easy, you just have to be a pleaser. Being respected requires you to be a fortress. The final technique is the walk away. The ultimate display of being unreadable is the ability to detach completely. Most people are terrified of loss. They stay in bad relationships, bad jobs, and bad arguments because they are afraid to sever the connection. The person who is willing to walk away at any moment, without explanation, holds all the cards. When you are not afraid of the end, you cannot be threatened. If you can look at a person you love, or a boss you need, and know in your heart that you could turn around, walk out the door, and never look back, you are invincible. That energy radiates from you. It is the energy of a predator, not prey. It subconsciously tells people, I do not need you. I choose you. And I can unchoose you. To summarize, the world is a noisy place filled with people desperate for attention. They flash their cards before the game has even started. Do not join them. Retreat into the shadows. Control your micro-expressions. Use silence as a weapon. Make your intentions impenetrable. Let them project their fantasies onto you, and then use those fantasies to navigate the chessboard. Become the void. Become the black box. And watch as the world bends over backward trying to figure out who you really are. Because in the end, the most dangerous person in the room is not the one shouting orders. It is the one sitting in the corner, watching, waiting, and saying absolutely nothing.